What's up guys, I'm Uncle Patrick of Untitled Solutions, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the best FPS for Apex Legends. So right now, at this very moment, Apex Legends did a small update this morning, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to jump straight into every single thing that you're going to be doing inside the game, inside Windows, inside your graphics settings, inside every single physics settings that you can change inside Windows, before I jump into the game and show you the best settings that you could be using to get 144 FPS while playing the game, and you will hit that 144 FPS. Leave a comment down below if this worked for you. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get straight into this and let's get this going. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm on my desktop right now. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go to the search button over here and type in settings just like this and press enter. And you're going to go to update and security. The first thing you're going to need to do is check for updates, and check for updates on a regular basis. I highly recommend you do this because your machine needs to stay up to date. As the game updates every single time, your machine needs to stay up to date as well. Now, as you can see here, there's an optional download. I highly recommend you go and do this. I'm not going to do this because I'm going to bore you guys by me downloading and installing this. Next step you're going to need to do is go to gaming over here, and I highly recommend turning this off if you do not use the Xbox game bar. Captures, you're going to turn this off, 30 minutes, off, 30, and standard, and untick this box over here. In game mode, a lot of people are saying that if you turn this on, it actually helps you with the game. If it does and you turn this on, you can go ahead and do so. If it doesn't, don't do it. Then just switch it off. It doesn't do anything for me. I've tested it with on and off. There's no FPS boost or anything like that. It doesn't make a difference. If it does for you, go ahead and do so. Next step is privacy. Scroll all the way down and you're going to go to background apps. Now, a lot of people might have this on like this, and all of these things are going to run in the background, which you don't want, and it's going to use resources like your RAM and your CPU. Not that much of your GPU, but it's going to use RAM and CPU while you are playing the game in the background. So you don't want this, so turn this off. We're going to go back to home and we're going to go to system. Over here is obviously your displays that you have. And then sound, you're going to go to notifications and turn everything off inside here except this one over here. Focus assist, you're going to turn this off, and you can actually turn all of these things off right here. But you can keep them on if you want to. It's your own personal preference. I have them on, as you can see. Power and sleep, I keep mine on never and never. It's your own personal preference. Storage, I highly recommend turning this on if you're not an advanced PC user. So go ahead and turn it on if you're not an advanced PC user. Tablet mode, I highly recommend putting it on. Use the appropriate mode from a hardware and don't switch to tablet mode. I mean, you are playing on a laptop or desktop computer, so you don't need these. Multitasking, you can switch this off like this if you only running one display or one monitor, right? So if you have multiple monitors like me, you can go ahead and switch this on and leave it on like this. Projecting to this PC, obviously you're not going to do anything inside here. Shared experiences, just turn everything inside here off. Clipboard, you're just going to click on clear, and remote desktop, you're going to make sure that this is off. Once you're done with that, you're going to click on the home button and go to personalize over here and go to color. Now I highly recommend changing this from light like this to dark. Because what it's going to do is when you play your games in Windows or on Windows in dark mode, it uses less resources of your RAM, CPU, and your GPU. And choose a dark color. I highly recommend changing it to a dark color and just keep it on a dark color. Once you're done with that, we're actually going to go out of this, and I'm actually going to go into the the settings that you can change inside Windows, because a lot of people actually was commenting on my previous video that why didn't I show them the video control panel settings and stuff like that. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm going to right click on my desktop. If you have a NVIDIA graphics card, you're just going to go to NVIDIA control panel and you're going to open up NVIDIA control panel just like this. The first thing you're going to need to do is adjust image settings with preview. I'm just going to make this big. Alright, you're going to go here and you're going to change this from quality to balanced or performance depending on the machine that you're running. If you're running a very low-end machine, I highly recommend putting on this performance. If you're running a mid-tier gaming machine, put it on balanced. If you're running a really good machine, you can put this on quality, or you can just click on this button over here and you should be good to go. I don't have to apply this because I already have this over here, so I'm just going to cancel it. So it will just automatically be back there. Alright, this one over here, manage 3D settings. You're going to click on program settings, and what you're going to do inside here is actually add Apex Legends inside here. So as you can see, that's my Rust exe. So I'm going to add Apex Legends. You can just click down on the drop down arrow and actually find where Apex Legends is. So if you're not seeing Apex Legends at all, you can just click on this add button over here and go to browse. So what you're going to do is you're going to go find where your game is installed. So mine's over here, Origin Games, Apex Legends. You're going to scroll all the way down to the R5 Apex. You're going to double click on it and it's going to add it inside here. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need to do is this one over here where it says CUDA GPUs. You're going to select this and select your GPU that you're currently running. Do not say use global settings. Click on the graphics card you're currently running and say OK. You're going to scroll all the way down where it says max frame rate. You're not going to change anything inside here. I do not recommend it because it's going to cap your FPS inside the game. If you want to cap your FPS, you can actually go ahead and switch this on and cap your FPS on whatever you want it to be capped on. But you can either put it off and use global settings. I highly recommend switching this off and click on OK. Next thing over here is Opengl Rendering GPU. You are going to select your graphics card. Do not let it auto-select. Select the graphics card you're currently running. Power management mode, you're going to change this from this optional power mode. You're going to change it to prefer maximum performance. And you're going to scroll all the way down. Alright, where it says quality over here, I highly recommend if you have a low-end budget gaming PC to put it on performance or high performance. If you have a good enough machine and you know you have a good enough machine, you could just leave it on quality like this. Alright, so here's another step that you guys can do is actually go to this over here. And then where it says physics settings, alright, you are not going to keep this on auto select because it's going to switch between your CPU and your GPU and you do not want that to happen. So you're going to select your graphics card you're currently running and then say apply. Let these changes apply for your graphics card. Once you're done with that, you're going to go to this one over here. And this will actually help you in-game to make the quality of the game look better. The color, the contrast, it just makes the game look so much better in game. You're going to go to digital vibrance. Make sure you click on this image 3 and then change your digital vibrance for your screen that you're currently running. My sweet spot on this is 85 for my monitor. As you can see, I have 3. So your main display, change this to about your own personal preference. Once you're done with that, you just apply it. It's going to change the digital vibrance not just for your Windows but for all games that you're going to be playing, especially like Apex Legends. It makes the game look much better. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the next step you're going to need to do is go over here and type in Device Manager, just like this, and open up Device Manager. You're going to go to Display Adapters and go to your graphics card itself, right click on it, say Update Drivers, and say Search Automatically for Drivers. Now it will tell you if you have the latest drivers installed already. If it starts downloading, it means you do not have the latest drivers installed on your machine, and I highly recommend you go ahead and let it download and let it install. Once you're done with that, you're going to go to the search button over here again, and you're going to type in Graphics Settings, just like this, and click on Graphic Settings. Now, as you can see, I already added my Apex Legends inside here. If you've never done this before, I highly recommend just clicking on Browse, and go where your Apex Legends is installed. So here's my Apex Legends. Click on the R5 Apex, and click Add, and it's going to add it over here. You're going to click on this. As you can see, it says EXE. Click on Options and click on High Performance. It will say let Windows decide. You're going to click on High Performance for your graphics card and it's going to select your GPU. You're going to say Save and close out of this. Next step you're going to need to do is go to Edit Power Plan, just like this, like that. And you're going to click on Edit Power Plan. Now we're going to open this up and we're going to click up here where it says Power Options. You're going to create a power plan for Apex Legends. So High Performance, delete everything inside here and say Apex Legends, just like this, and say next. You're going to say never, never, and say create. Now you have a power plan for Apex Legends. You're going to click on change plan settings, click on change advanced power settings, and as you can see, it's going to show there 20 minutes. You do not want your hard drive to switch off after 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever the case might be. It's going to delete everything inside there and type in 0. Click on anywhere and it's going to say never. This is especially useful for people that's running this game on a hard drive, a mechanical hard drive, not an SSD. I personally play all my games on SSDs and I still put this on never. So I highly recommend just type in 0 and click anywhere and it's going to show never. Scroll all the way down and go to Processor Power Management, go to Minimum Processor State and make sure this is on 100%. You can just type it in or just scroll. You can actually scroll and it will do that. So just put it on 100% and say apply. Laptop users, you're going to get on battery and plugged in. You obviously just going to change both of them to 100% and just click apply and click OK and then close out of this. Right, once you close out of that, I'm going to jump straight into the game. I'm going to show you the best settings that you're going to be using right now for the update that was released for this game today. I'm going to show you the best settings that you're going to be using inside Apex Legends. Let's jump straight into that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I am in Apex Legends right now, and the first thing you're going to need to do is, as you can see, I'm doing 144 FPS in the lobby right now. It doesn't matter that I'm in the lobby at all. It actually doesn't. But I'm going to show you the settings that you're going to be using. Alright, so gameplay, own personal preference. Audio, own personal preference. But I do highly recommend where it says sound effects, put this on 100% and leave it there. Alright, video plays a very big role in this game. Full screen, play your game at full screen. If you're getting better FPS at windowed or borderless windowed, go ahead and do so. It's your own personal preference. I play my game at full screen mode and it works wonderful just on full screen mode. You're going to keep this on your native, keep this on your native, and put the brightness up to your own personal preference. FOV does not play a role at all on FPS. I've tried it with every single FOV inside this game. I play mine at 110 and my FPS stays exactly the same. Right, this one is your own personal preference. I keep mine disabled and I put this on minimal. Vsync, you are going to completely disable this and not enable it at all. Right, so you're not going to say double buffer. You're not going to say triple, not going to say adaptive, not going to say adaptive 1 times rate. Right, so you're going to put this on disabled and leave it on disabled. NVIDIA reflex, a lot of people are saying that you should put it on enable plus boost if you play ranked games or, you know, arena modes and stuff like that. It helps people get better FPS. If this helps you get better FPS by putting this on maybe before you go play a ranked game or whatever the case might be, go ahead and do so. If it doesn't do anything on your machine, disable it. I disable mine, it doesn't do anything for me, so I leave it on disabled. It's your own personal preference. This one you're going to keep on 0. This one over here you're going to keep on TSAA. Do not put this on none. It actually makes the game look a little bit worse in textures. I'm actually going to show you, so I'm just going to put this on none and apply it. As you can see, there's jagged edges now on my character, so I'm just going to make that a bit smoother right now. So I'm going to put this on TSAA, apply it, and go into the game, and as you can see, it's smooth. There's no jagged edges at all, and there's no jagged edges in the game while you are playing. Right? This one plays a very big role on your graphics card that you are running, and I'm just going to make a reference on a card that a lot of people still are running and stuff like that. So the RX 580 is an 8 gig, you get an 8 gig version of this card. Now it's an olden day card, it's not a newer generation graphics card, so it has 8 gigs of VRAM, but it does not mean you should be putting this on 8 gigs. That card is not going to run this game while putting this on 8 gigs. I have an RTX 2060 and I put this on 4 gigs. So if you have a good graphics card, a really higher generation graphics card, a newer generation graphics card, and it has 8 gigs and more VRAM, you can go ahead and put it on 8 gigs. If you have 8 gigs of VRAM on the dot, put it at 6. If you have 6 gigs of VRAM, put it on 4. If you have 4 gigs of VRAM, put it on 3, or put it on 2/3. If you have 3 gigs of VRAM, put it on 2, or you can put it on none. It's your own personal preference, depending on the graphics card that you're running. I keep mine like this, and I'm good to go. Always keep this on 16 times. Do not change this. This one over here, you're going to disable this. These two over here plays a big role in the game. It actually helps in the game for you to see things better, so I actually enable this on high. This one you can disable completely. These two you disable completely. And then these play a very big role inside the game as well. So model detail, you want this to be on high. This you can put on medium, or you can put it on low. In fact, you can just do this. So have this on low, have this on disable, have this on low, right? Or you can put this on medium, low, and then medium, just like this. Or put this on low. I mean, it's ragdoll, so you don't really need it that much. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to jump straight into the game, and I'm actually going to show you the FPS that I'm doing with the specific settings that I just changed now and showed you what to use. So I'm going to jump straight into a game. So I'm actually just going to not fool my teammates and obviously just make it a duo and jump straight into a game and show you the FPS that I'm doing inside the game with the specific settings. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm doing about 140, 143, 139 right now on this map. So 144, that's the max it will hit. So I'm just going to show you the FPS that I'm doing inside the game while I'm actually playing the game, not just inside the lobby itself, because me being in the lobby doesn't prove any point. So let me just show you the FPS that it does while I'm playing the game. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so as you can see, this is the FPS that you're going to be doing with these settings, depending on the machine that you are running. So all you need to do is follow my guidelines and you should be good to go. If this worked for you, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here. And ladies and gentlemen, as always, peace out.